Nice day at the beach. I'm gonna go over toward the ocean. I feel like I never walk over there. Had to go pick up the bank card from Nia to withdraw some money. And on my way there, she just keeps texting me like, and it's like, it's, you know, sun's up in the sky out here, so it's like I keep having to stop. And like I'm trying to get over there to, you know, to pick it up so I can continue with my day, but she won't stop texting me. So finally she's like, I can't text anymore. I'm at work. And like I wanted to like cry. Like, you know, rage tears. You know, you just want to just fucking just start crying out of anger because there's nothing else you can really do. That's really the only time I cry. I'm not a big crier. I got that from my dad. He's very stoic. I think we only ever saw him cry once, but I wasn't there when his dad died. With some song came on the radio and I think it got to him. It wasn't like a real crying thing. He was just real quiet. But yeah, he used to tell us that we don't cry. And I like that. You know, there was that period I went through, that kind of faggy period where you're like, you know, toxic masculinity might not be good. I went through that period. And then after a while it's like, oh, not having masculinity is killing the West. They want you not to be masculine. They put it in the milk, amongst other things. See, I don't know what to do here because if I brush ahead of them, I look like a psycho. But I also don't want to be back here behind them because I'm really not interested in what they're doing. So I have this spot. Now Nia, she don't care. She just plow right through and be like, fuck them. But I don't. I'm a guy, so it's a different energy. Like she can bust through a blockade, and she's a girl, so people don't think it's weird. But when I do it, it's like, I don't know. I'm a guy, so it just makes me look like a fucking psycho. That wasn't a bad blockade. I was only behind them for a little while. But sometimes you get these blockades where it's like a big family, and no one's aware of the surroundings at all. Like there's no well, Hilux, man. Hilux. They don't even know what they're doing. See, now I'm behind this woman with the ass. And I feel weird because it's like, yeah, I'm filming, but you all look away. I'm definitely going to use it for the thumbnail. But you've seen me probably do that kind of thing before. Well, I'll have like girls' asses in my view. And I just, after a while, I got to take a right. Like right now, I'm crossing her. I'm not fucking staying behind her and filming her. I'm not filming her, of course, but I don't, it just feel weird about it. So I'm going to take a right here, unless that's what she's doing. And then I'm going to go straight. Nope, she's going straight. I'm taking a right. I mean, I already have plenty for the thumbnail. That's the only kind of, YouTube-y thing I do, really, is make thumbnails like that. If I have like a pretty girl in the video as I'm editing it, I'll put her on a thumbnail. And Nia doesn't watch my channel, so she's, even when she's on it, she doesn't watch it. So I can do that. See, I can't see if this is this a cloud. Yeah, okay. But yeah, I don't like doing those. I'm not a tricky guy. Oh, no. How you doing, man? That guy's awesome. He's out of his goddamn mind, but he's cool. Sorry, God, didn't mean to say GD. I'm not super concerned about that kind of stuff because I know God doesn't really care about that stuff. But you know, that's I don't feel good about saying GD ever. I used to say it a lot. I really worked out of my lexicon. It's been moved out. It's like a nice day here, though. Nice day. It's like this every day. It's the same thing. Just like this. Hey, Tesla truck. Why do they call those trucks? They look like cars to me. Elon blew up his own truck because he was spurging out. This whole Elon thing is hilarious, man. Now he's trying to like win us the racist Nazis back with his posts about how they have to stop the Islamic grape gangs over there in the UK. It's like, well, of course. I mean, no one's for those. I don't even think that's like an edgy 4chan thing to not want that to happen. But the UK government is all about that. They don't mind. In fact, their policies promote it. You know, they know they're not going to get in trouble. And then someone like, you know, that controlled opposition guy, Tommy Robinson, he's definitely one of them. But it's the old thing. It's like, you know, we have to lead our opposition. So I know he's like a controlled guy, but he goes, he's been going after those people pretty hardcore lately, like talking a lot about it, making videos about it. And the media just calls him a fucking right-wing fucking fascist. Because he doesn't want their women and children raped. And the thing is, like, they tell you one thing about Muslims, and I have no problem with the Muslims. I have a lot of empathy for them because the Jews painted them as monsters post 9/11. And I knew enough of them to know that it's just not true, you know. People are people. But I will say, they have quite a thing with grape. And I think what it is because they're so like strict about their own women, how their own women are, you know, taken care of. They cover them up. If something is to happen to the woman, like if she was assaulted and raped, she ends up paying the price. Like honor killings is fucking weird. So they're hyper strict about that stuff. So I think when they get dropped off in these formerly white countries by the American government and the United Nations, and you know, the same thing that's happening here. They just dump people off here to cause chaos and pain. So when they come to a place like real civilization, they look at, I think, the women and think, well, they're not our women. We don't have to treat them any certain way. And then they do their thing, and that's exactly what it is. So, I mean, it's not going to stop. You know, do you think they're keeping up with X or, you know, Twitter? No, they don't care. They come here and they go into white countries, and like I said, it's not their women. Now the African connection, they don't care. They do it to their own women anyway. In fact, over in Africa, they have billboards up trying to get people not to do that, like trying to convince men that's not manly to do it. One of my good friends on the island, Chido, CHIDO, she's from Zimbabwe, and it sounds like the attitude toward that kind of assault over there is just like, it's so common that they don't really look at it. Well, even if they don't look at anything bad over there. They don't have that fucking thing. But yeah, it's a common part of growing up. You know, all girls kind of go through it. I didn't ask her personally how many times it's happened to her, but I get the idea that it has. For some people, it's kind of a regular thing, and they're not too picky. If you notice them here too. I mean, you know, black dudes are with that shit. So no one's safe over there. So coming over here, it's the same thing as the Muslim gang. Just like, whoa, you know, have at it. It's too bad. Well, the thing is, it's like, this is just third world into first world. People weren't meant to live together like this. You know, they weren't. And when they've been, since, for centuries now, well, I wouldn't say for centuries, maybe for over a century, they pushed this melting pot thing about America. It's a melting pot. Give us your weak, you're tired, you're rapey, you're people who like to assault, you know, you're low impulse, highly violent. Drop them off here. You know, that's not something that the founders of the country, as controlled as they were, they're all Freemasons anyway. I don't think that's something they would have thought of, because they would have been like, well, people, you can't say that, because people are going to be like, what the hell? You can't do that. But it had been so long that they got people so comfortable here, especially after World War II. You know, after World War II, life was good. The Goyim got, hey, what's up, man? Good to see you. How are you? What's up? Good to see you, man. How you doing?
Excellent.
What's going on up there? Anything? Same old stuff. Oh, good, man. That's awesome. Good for you, man. That's awesome. Yeah, keep it up. Why not?
You gotta have the money coming in, man.
Dude, it's so expensive now. I can't fucking pay attention anymore. It's nuts.
I know.
It's nuts. Have a good day, man. God bless you, man. It's my neighbor. He lives in my building. Yeah, what he was just talking about is he not busks. He just sits there with a sign saying, you know, I think it's something about old man or something that need money, whatever it is, and he's making tons of money. You know, because I mean, people want to do that because it makes them feel good about themselves. But most of the people begging, as it were, are fucking animals. You know, they're like animals. So like, no one wants to go near them anyway. He's a plain, nice-looking older gentleman, just, you know, and people think, oh, I want to help this poor guy out. So yeah, he's fucking cleaning up. Every time I see him, he's like, oh, I'm making so much money. Good for him. Good for him. And this is something, I guess, kind of new to him. He never did anything like that before. You know, he's real apprehensive about, yeah, should I do it? You know, when he first started doing it. Because this is something that a lot of non-whites don't understand. But there's this kind of shame thing, like, that we have, that is the curse to us. You know, that's why we don't like taking government aid. A lot of us, it's embarrassing. I mean, yeah, there's always white trash. You know, there's always these white trash people who will take anything. Like the guys here from ex-tattoo artists from California who walk around with skateboards at 52 years old. I mean, there's always guys like that. You know, meth hustlers. So you get bad ones too, but for the most part, the Caucasian psyche has always seen it as they've been resistant to taking anything. And they don't feel like they're owed anything, you know, whereas a lot of other people feel like they're owed it. And the shame thing is a big deal because of the way, you know, our brains are. We are capable of shame and feeling bad about things, whereas some people are not, you know, because they don't have the brain structure to have those centers that would allow them to feel shame about things. But that's forbidden science, and I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. But yeah. Let's see what else is going on up here. Super steady on. Going everywhere today. This is the international marketplace. We've been through here many times. Just wanted to give you another look at the afternoon. Looks a little hazy here. Is that my lens? Yeah, it was my lens. It's nice down there, huh? This where they have like shows and stuff without stages. They put on like you know, like local type of shows, and they do hula dances and stuff. Like, unfortunately, it's usually male hula dancers. They, you know, switch to that thing. I guess it's more appropriate, I guess now. I don't know. But back in the day, it'd have like hula dancing girls with like bikinis and stuff on. I guess that's not okay for modern audiences or modern sensibilities. They have dudes in low bikini bottoms covered in oil. It's fucking disgusting. now it is nighttime. Yeah, the death fog thing is fucking crazy. It's one of these things that are happening where we're watching it in real time. Just like it's the same thing with the drones. In fact, I mean, it's pretty obvious, I think, to me anyway, that they're connected. And the way the government was like, we don't know what they are, but we know they're safe. It's like, all right, well, that doesn't make any fucking sense. But what do you do about that? Like, who do you hold accountable? That's the problem. The system is set up in a way so that, I mean, the guys that are telling us this shit on TV, they don't even really know. So it's not like you could go to them and kind of get the information. But I think some of those guys, those middle guys, here's the situation. And I don't know if they did that CEO psyop thing as like a precursor, so that they because it's obviously, you know, a psyop. It's obviously a thing that they made up. But did they do that for some reason? Because they feel people are going to start being targeted, like maybe not CEOs, but some of these mouthpieces that have to go in front of people and say stuff like, well, we don't know what they are, but they're not dangerous. You know, people at some point are going to want to hold someone accountable. And the way the system works, the people that actually make the decisions, like the rubber hit the road kind of final decisions, you never see them. I mean, you're never going to see them, you know who they are. But I think the people you do see are going to start feeling some kind of heat, because people will only take so much of this. I mean, something's being done to them, and there's no one that they can hold accountable for it, and there's nowhere to turn about it. I mean, it's one thing when they're saying, oh, we don't know what these drones are, but they're not dangerous. How that's clearly fucking retarded. But now they're dumping fog out. They're dumping the spray. We've seen them doing this. Before this fog stuff even rolled in, we saw they were going around spraying. And something was coming out of them. So it's, you know, it doesn't take much to tie these two things together. So the government, or, you know, those in control are spraying the shit in the air, and it's turning into fog, and it's dangerous. It's hurting people. Minutes of Horror had this video. That guy's pretty crazy. Like, he just, I don't know how he does it, but he gets a lot of good shit. He dug up some stuff on TikTok of some guys that different TikTok users that made posts warning about the coming fog, like last year, with all these hashtags talking about the fog, or the fog is coming, you know, pretty much describing what is happening now. And yeah, we've never been in a situation like this before as a country, where we see something being done to us and our leaders just kind of shrug their shoulders like, I don't know. And then what are the people supposed to do? I mean, I don't know. I got to be careful what I say, you know. But I think you kind of probably see what I'm getting at. What I'm afraid is going to happen, you know, eventually. Because, I mean, there's only so much people going to take. It's like, you know, being hit in the face with a bat, you know, with the unknown comic is hitting you in the face with a bat. Like, who's the unknown comic? And is it Ace Frehley? I don't know. It could be. We don't know. Well, eventually, I don't think they're going to care who the guy is. They're going to start they're going to pick up a bat and start hitting them back, because you can't get to the guys up top. You'll never see them in your lifetime. But, and I went through, I talked about this too, when COVID was going on, because the people forcing tyranny up in the fucking tower, they're not the ones telling you to put the mask all the way over your nose. It's the idiots in your neighborhood that are doing that to you. You know, people locally around you. And a lot of them like doing that too, because it's a little power trip thing. But what has to start happening is there has to be consequences for the people delivering the message. It's the only thing that can be done. You know, and I'm not advocating for violence or anything, YouTube, anything like that. There's a lot of ways people can be held accountable that are non-violent, but they have to be held accountable. The people that we see, and people are like, well, they're just a spokesperson. That we have nobody else. So you got to work your way up the line. If you have these people down here making your life bad, and they are, then they have to be held accountable. And if they're held accountable, then it'll be harder for the guys in the tower to get people to go out and read this stupid shit for them. You know, if the guy that was like, well, we don't know what they are, but we know they're safe, that guy should be held accountable. There should be people outside, you know, waiting when he comes up to ask him, what the fuck are you talking about? Why, you know, I don't know what you do. All right, I'm not saying anyone should do anything, but someone has to be held accountable in some way at some point. Or else we all just bend over and let ourselves get fucking SA'd over and over and over again, like we've been doing. You know? You see it in everything. The Maui situation. You know, you had Jay Green and his fucking creepy cop friend, the Urang guy, and the other fucking clown. They're out there saying, oh, you know, brush fire, climate change. We know, we can see what fucking happened. And you think, well, it's not their fault, they're just the stooges. But the stooges are going to have to start being held accountable for this shit. And if they are, then maybe they're going to have a hard time getting stooges to go out there and read the script for them. So maybe you'll get closer up the chain of command. Ideally, you want a situation where the people that want to do shit to you have to come out and do it themselves. That's what you want. That's the end result of this thing. It'll never get there. But it'll make it harder for them to do what they're doing. Because the way evil works, I've talked about it many times, is if you don't protest in some way, if you don't protest and protest, they just keep doing what they're doing. They take that as you acquiescing to whatever evil shit they're doing. If you don't hold the door and be like, wait, why are you coming through this door? If no one's there, if everyone just shrugs and says, well, I don't know, like they've been doing, then you're going to see more stuff like this. You know, it's just going to happen over and over again. I'm sure other people have figured this out, but it's a tough thing because it's like, you know, someone would immediately say, well, what are you advocating for? Someone on their side would say that, you know. They have it set up in a way, they're not as inept as they are with some of their planning, especially this current crop of child eating weirdos. They're still, you know, kind of smart, they're kind of clever. So they have the system set up in a way that it's really hard to hold anyone accountable. But we're getting to a point where they're doing more and more awful shit, more blatantly, that people are going to be left with no choice than to hold the people they can physically see accountable, you know, in some way, in some non-violent kind of way, of course, YouTube. That's all I'm saying. Like, if that's all you can get, if that's all, you know, they're killing us. They're killing us. They've been killing us. Been killing us, you know, since time began, but they've been killing us in earnest, really bad, over the past, you know, 5, 6, 7 years. They're killing us worse. They're killing us worse than they normally kill us. Back in the mall. I go to the same places all day long, back and forth. But yeah, it's hard to talk about that stuff, especially that specific situation, because it so easily can be turned around on you. You know, not just on YouTube, but by people, like, in general. You know, like, well, what are you advocating for? Usually whenever someone does that, the person that's, whatever it is, you're talking about something in the comment section or any setting, and whenever there's someone that claps back and they're very aggressive about it, usually that person is someone who has some sort of skin in the game on the opposing team side. There's a lot of bots and shit that they put out in these comment sections too. And then you got the WEF a couple of years ago. Klaus started bragging about his internet warriors who are gonna fight disinformation. We have like all these people. He said he had like an army of disinformation people. Like, dude, really? Whenever that happens, like, even on 4chan or something, whenever there's some real aggressive pushback to what you're saying, for me, it always just makes me fucking want to be even more annoying about it. Because it's like, you know, I mean, the thing is, though, a lot of times, like, these aren't even real people. They're fucking robots. But you have to make your voice known. You have to be counted as not going along with the plan. Or you have to show that you're resisting in some fucking way. Because this is spiritual warfare laws. They can only do what you allow them to do. And in most cases, they have to set up the paradigm so that you do it to yourself, or else it doesn't count for them. You know, they don't get points. They can't trick you into doing stuff. Well, I mean, yes, of course they can, but I mean, they can't rig it so that you're going to make a decision or that's outside your purview of understanding, if that makes sense. You have to kind of look at what they're offering or what they're presenting to you and have to say, yeah, I want to go along with this. Like, you have to do it to yourself. Or, I mean, in the case like this, you just don't say anything, you know? But they can't always take the silence as permission in every situation. That's why it's weird. It's like I can't figure that out, like when it's okay to take your silence as permission and when it's not okay. You know what I mean? They have a rule book and they're going by rules that we don't understand. We can only kind of figure out just by having to deal with them. It sucks, you know, because we're always on the back foot. And we're just now, as a people, as a consciousness, as a energy being, one, as we're all the same one, it seems like within the past few decades, we're just starting to begin to understand that there is even indeed a game. You know, there's even indeed warfare. You know, some people don't understand it. I'm not going to make this light. I'd like to. I'd like to get across the street. It's real hard. You know, it's real hard to get around out here. Sorry, I had to focus on what I'm doing. It's hard too. Like, I think I just might have did 2 minutes of word salad there, because my brain is looking, you know, at everybody around me. And no security things though. I haven't had my Haven't had my don't relax alarm come up quite yet. It will. You know, this is the new Waikiki. It definitely will. The cigarettes help though. When I was out here earlier, I'm like just getting monged. Like people love being near me. Like they can't keep the fuck away. They will just drift closer and closer and closer. But if I light up one of these, then they're scared. They fear for their lives. It's fucking wonderful. So what's the answer, you know? I don't fucking know. Someone smarter than me might be able to figure out. But you're playing a game against them. You're playing a game against them, and you're not sure what the rules are. You're only learning the rules by watching them and trying to figure it out, how they're killing you by paying attention to every time they swing the bat at your head. It's like, oh, okay, can they do this? Oh, looks like they can do that. All right, looks like they can whack us in the balls if they want. You know, it's like, it's all right though. We're all gonna make it. Things are gonna get better, or you know, better for us. Maybe not better for them. You know, the end for them is the apocalypse that they always show in movies and stuff. Whenever you talk about the apocalypse, they always show it as some like end of the world type scenario with all this fire and destruction, because that's the way they see it. Because for them, the end really is the end. They're going into the pit. They're done jail. You know, that's why they're trying to hang on to this place, hang on to the power, hang on to our power, you know, by keeping us under their thumbs so they can suck up our God juice so they can survive. The worst thing for them to have, the nightmare scenario for them is what's happening right now. Where we're starting to say, oh, wait a minute. All right, wait a minute. It's a nightmare scenario. That's why things are so frantic now. They're trying everything, pulling out all the stops, crazy things, you know, that they're putting out there, putting on the screen, stuff that, you know, and I always say, like, years ago, this is a couple of decades ago, any event that happened in the past few months would be talked about nonstop for months and months. Now it's like something happens, insane. Next day, something happens, insane. They're just throwing everything at the inevitable. Because the inevitable is us completely waking up. You know, because it's not just like, I'm just one part of the consciousness, you know, so are you. We're just pieces of this one conscious being, of this one divine being. You know, the progeny of God, child of God. And we're split up into all these different points of attention that express themselves as individual people, you know. So, me realizing all this stuff is good, but I'm just like one part of it. There has to be some kind of a critical mass here that tips the scales in our favor. And at that point, when enough of us are aware, enough parts of ourselves are aware that our awareness outweighs their trickery, they're done. They're done. And the thing about them being done is they're really done. They gambled a lot by deciding to basically enslave us and live off our energy to empower themselves, to live like kings and queens here in the physical realm. And they've been doing it for years, over and over again. Someone asked me in comments the other day, they're like, was it Lieutenant Harkness, I think it was? He was like, how many times do you think we've done this? I don't know. I know they've been doing this. I know this is a cyclical situation. And I know they've been doing this over and over again. We've had resets and stuff like that. But as far as us, personally, like us as the one being, I don't know. It's not something, it was a good question because it's not something I really ever thought about. I don't feel like it. It's weird because in one way there is a familiarity with things that you could have known from another lifetime, but that could just be another part of the consciousness. Two things can, both be true. This could be our first go around to us because of perspective. But I don't know. The more I think about it, I tend to think that it has been us this whole time. There's those people that say we chose to come here for this job, this mission, of getting everybody out. But everybody, we're all, that one thing. So if we weren't here before, who was here before us? You start getting into those kind of questions, and then, you can tie your brain up in knots doing that. I try to keep things as simple as I can, despite it being a complex fucking knot. A knot. It's a Gordian's knot. I hope I pronounced that right. I could probably spell it, but I don't know if I'm saying it right. The fucking point is, it's all gonna be alright. We're getting out of here. We're throwing their card table over, and there's nothing they can do about it. If they were in control, they wouldn't be doing any of the stuff they're doing now. They know it's coming to an end, and like I said earlier, the end for them really is the end. They don't go anywhere else but into the pit. Oblivion is what's in their future. Ours is everlasting life with the Lord. That's a fucking guarantee. Don't take my word for it, though. See the moon anywhere? It's hiding up there somewhere. Lurking behind the buildings. Like Godzilla. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. It's time to head in. Thanks for dropping in and hanging with me. Hopefully see you again soon. Until next time, don't blame the teacher, blame the school. This is pretty exciting. 3 windows at Victoria's Secret. Why women? Unbelievable. It's a great step forward for my people.